Hello and welcome to my color commentary demo as well as back to Summoner's Rift. I am your caster for today, Jabarie Tektronic Brown, and we are actually going to cast a match that wages every single day, red team versus blue team in solo queue. And right off the top, from the red team side, we do see the presence of a Trinity Force AD carry, so popular right now, especially after the changes that were made to the Trinity Force, increasing the movement speed. We do see a Corki in that bot lane being supported by a Nami for the red team. The blue team answer to that is going to be a Caitlyn Sona bot lane coming out. And we also see an Elise in the jungle for the red team. Very, very highly contested pick again in Worlds. But on the blue team, we have an Udyr who's crossing the river. Going to do a little investigation on the red team side. Not played a lot in professional play. And we do see Kennen getting a little bit of a flame to the face, but they're both just going to disengage. And this is actually really wise coming out of the Udyr. He doesn't have full vision of the enemy red team. He has no idea if they're going to try to do a level 1 red brush, Fnatic style brush pick. So it's good that he falls back, especially after running into that Kennen. The Kennen, again, has no idea if blue team is going to invade. You notice that he does get the all call out. Nidalee comes over to do a little bit of an investigation. But both teams are just going to line up along the river right now, protect their entrances to their buffs. We're going to get a little can out of Elise. And it's just going to be kind of a slow start, looking like Elise is going to take her blue first. Likewise, it looks like Udyr is going to get a little bit of help from that J4 on his blue. And both teams are just going to post up and take this really easy. I consider this a very standard solo queue start with both junglers taking their blue buff. However, with the changes that were made to the jungle, you do see a lot more level 1 invades recently. Really spicing up the level 1 gameplay. And, honestly, even in the professional scene, making it a lot more interesting to get those deep wards, having that level 1 strategy, or going for some skirmish, like I said, some brush pick play. Very interesting, but right now, pretty standard opening. CJ4 up top against that Kennen. He's going to have the Dragon Strike to give him the range, but he is going to get outranged in that combo. So we'll see how J4 handles that up top. This bot lane, we do have Caitlyn Sona. Very, very, very strong poke lane. They are going to naturally push, especially with Sona bringing those power chords out there, getting some of that harass onto the Corki and the Nami. Nami's going to, provide some sustain with her ebb and flow, as well as a little bit of poke back. She also is going to have the Aqua Prison a little bit later for that knockup potential, allowing Corki to be able to reposition. We do see the Light Binding coming out of here with the Lux in the middle, but she wasn't really in a position to lay down any serious additional damage, so they're going to disengage there. And we hop back down to this bot lane. And as you can see, we have an Elise gank in the middle. She puts down, the spear lands coming out of JTEX. But Tora is able to make it back to his turret. We're going to have Ghostface Killer laying down some shell in the mid lane, just kind of making his presence known. And the light binding does land again on the Elise. Elise flashes away. They do force the flash so that it is a successful gank in the mid lane. That's going to give the mid lane a lot more breathing room. And honestly, it's going to give that Udyr a lot more options to counter invade, knowing that Elise flash is down. Just going to diminish that global presence that Elise has right now. And again, this blue team bot lane is going to continue to push. They're going to continue to have that constant pressure, although Sona does lose a little bit of positioning pressure having that ward in the bot lane brush. She isn't really as able to bully and force some position play since her visibility is known. It's going to make Corki and Nami a little less afraid of her. A lot better able to react to her movements as well as her pressure. And now they're going to start to get the first hits down there on that bottom red team turret. Little pot shots coming out of Caitlyn. And this is where you really do see that range matchup coming into play. Ken is just getting down a little bit of harass. J4 up top, really kind of trying to get that poke in with the Dragon Strike. But so far, the damage exchange up top is pretty even, so I'm not too concerned with that. A lot of damage coming out from this Corki on the bottom with the Sona. A little 90 caliber net action to slow him down and deter him. But ultimately, Corki does lose out on the damage in that trade. He did take a lot of counter poke from Caitlyn, noticing that he was focusing on that Sona, really allowing her free time to just get a lot of damage on and to push him back there. The Sona, oh, and we do see Elise coming down from the top with a gank. 90 caliber net, comes right out of there, as I expected, slowing that Elise down. Volatile Spiraling coming out, putting it down a little extra damage onto that Sona, but not really going to do any sort of significant damage there, and they disengage pretty easily. The slow coming out of that 90 caliber net, very, very useful to shut down any sort of ganks, especially ganks that you have vision on with a ward being placed in that bottom river brush. Very good play coming out of C9 Xiao Xiao or Xiao Hai here and Dr. Warrior 47, and they're just going to continue to push this lane, keep that Nami and Corki under their turret, and just really get down some solid harass. If you see here, they are really trying to push them out of lane. We have Kennen up top, just kind of play a little bit here in the brush. J4 just clearing it out his wave, and you notice he has frozen that wave there in a safe place up top for the river, making it very difficult for Elise to get a gank off. We also do see in the jungle there, it looks like Udyr is going to swing around for a little bit of a love tap on this Kennen here. Elise hovering around the mid lane. Corki and Nami just trapped under turret. Both level 4, so they're falling a little bit behind here. As in levels, you see that Caitlyn is 6, Sona is still 5. And Kennen completely makes it out alive against this up top lane Udyr gank. Aqua Prison lands. Nami gets a little extra damage off on Caitlyn, but that is totally returned by Sona. A nicely positioned power cord there. Light Binding does hit a minion. And we do see Nidalee using that Cougar form in mid lane for clear. And then the poke wars just continue. Sona constantly harassing, getting hits off on that Nami, getting hits off on that Corki. Caitlyn positioning those delicious cupcake traps, allowing for some zoning there to really kind of funnel the minions as well as both Corki and Nami and control their movement in that lane. A little ebb and flow coming out, putting some damage on that Sona. Corki as well, following up with that damage. Gonna have some visibility there. But we have a gank coming down middle. Lux takes a lot of harass. We get a repel coming out of Elise. A little bit of a bear stun coming out of Udyr, and he is going to Phoenix Fire this down, and Elise drops first blood going to Udyr there in the mid lane. Light Binding does land. A little extra damage coming out of the Lux, but we really don't have the health totals there to follow up and really secure a second kill on that Nidalee. And you see here in the bot lane, Corki and Nami are just going to have to go home. They have taken so much harass coming out of this Caitlyn Sona that they are just not going to be able to stay in lane. And with that last wave clear, Caitlyn and Sona are going to be able to start to put some serious damage down on that bot lane turret. A little bit of farm here coming out of Nidalee. Just keeping that lane honest, making sure that she pushes up as hard as she can, trying to deny Lux as much of that XP, as much of that experience and gold as she possibly can. And bot lane, Caitlyn and Sona are just going to keep that same song going. A little bit of a lightning rush coming out of Kennen there with a little bit of a surge at the end, proccing that stun there coming out of him in the top lane. And we see Udyr picking up double buffs. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, Udyr, don't be so greedy. Give that blue buff to Lux. She needs it in the mid lane, and that is true. That would significantly help Lux in the mid lane. Probably should have given that there to his mid laner so he could snowball her there. But double buff on Udyr is not bad. If he's looking to make some plays right now, looking to make some ganks, it looks like he is swinging around that bot lane. Nami's going to get some defensive wards out there, so it might spoil his day. But Udyr suffers from a lot of mana problems early on. That blue buff is really going to ease that problem there, as well as having that red buff damage with the additional damage over time there. He can secure some kills with some really choice ganks. So since he has chosen to take that blue buff and that red buff, he's really going to have to make something happen there to really have that strength that he's currently at be reflected in the snowballing of his lanes. And we do see Nami landing the Aqua Prison. Sona pushing up to kind of deter that damage and taking a little damage, some shots to the face herself. But again, in classic style, Dr. Warrior here does put himself in harm's way to prevent that damage coming out onto his AD carry. And that is really what you want to see coming out of your support. You don't want really dangerous play. You want to make sure that you and your AD carry are always on the same page. But it is expecting another Aqua Prison lands. Nami again gets some harass there, and again, Sona responds by also going in, trading some damage there on the Corki. The Corki being occupied with that Sona and trading a little bit of damage back, allowing the Caitlyn in this situation to not really suffer too much damage. And the crescendo comes out, completely misses both, and Corki's just going to turn that around and lay some serious damage down on that Sona. And she goes down, but he pops the barrier to save his life, but I don't think he's getting out of here. Caitlyn has complete vision on him, having a ward there. Tidal Wave comes out of Nami, but it is not enough to help. Was not able to get the movement speed down on Corki to help get him out of there, and he does fall. See a little bit of a lightning surge again coming out, and we do have Lux getting caught in the brush. Final spark comes out, and Nami goes down. Ace in the hole coming out, but Elise repels that. We do see a little bit of a barrier coming out of that Elise, and she is actually going to make it out of here alive. I did not expect to see that Elise live. Oh, and those spears making me cringe. Light Binding comes out through the Tribush, but does not land on Nidalee. And we do see Elise here getting caught. She lands the cocoon, but the ace in the hole from downtown. Caitlyn says, not on my watch. And she takes Elise out with the greatest of ease, and we're going to see this bot turret fall. Udyr wants this damage. He's going to come in repeatedly with the Bear Sun, ensuring that the Nidalee cannot get away using her speed through that brush. He's going to apply those stuns, and he's also going to get a movement speed steroid coming out of that bear form so he can keep pace with her, applying that Phoenix fire just to keep the burn on, just to keep the heat. Let her know you are in danger and I'm going to hunt you down. Great play, great moves coming out of Udyr in that bot lane. And we do see a lot of damage on Kennen and J4 here up top. They are trading very well. J4 making sure that he keeps those Dragon Standards down. We haven't seen a lot of that Flag and Drag knock up into a Cataclysm. I'm assuming that's going to start coming out here very shortly. And we do have the Slicing Maelstrom. And it is returned with a Cataclysm. And they both go down. Mexican standoff up top, guns drawn, and nobody walks away from that fight. Great return to that answer to that Slicing Maelstrom coming out of J4 up top with that Cataclysm, locking him down, making sure that he can't get away. And he's also going to secure himself a kill answer. So, you know, seeing how Kennen jumped on J4, I think that's great. Comes out ahead. Aqua Prison lands on the Sona, and she's going to take a lot of damage from this crescendo. Does miss again. Final spark coming out of Lux, doing some damage. But the Tidal Wave is going to slow this down, and Nami's just going to chase, putting really, at this stage, somewhat insignificant poke damage down. But nonetheless, keeping them back. They were actually being very aggressive, blue team, on Nidalee in the mid lane. Nami is really just securing that. A little ebb and flow poke coming out, sustained, as well as that Nidalee heal that you see coming out, allowing for a real significant amount of sustain as far as healing is concerned. And she goes in with the Kuga form. Corgi comes in from the back, and they don't see, and the damage just goes down. Sona bites it. Lux takes so much damage. Ace in the hole answer from Zhao Hai, saying, no, you dove too hard, and now you're going to die for it. Udyr is going on a turret. He is not caring. At least he's going to get that repel, but it's not going to be enough. And he's going to return to the red side, red team jungle. Just a little dip in and out. Just say, hey, got a little bit cocky there, got a little too safe. It's going to go a little bear form stun. Just keep you on your toes, keep you honest. J4 is going to fall back to that brush up top. But he's really going to just kind of keep tabs of this lane, and you're just seeing Kennen and J4 just slug it out. Giving Lux that blue buff now. So now we have a blue buff on Lux. We do see the Flag and Drag with the knock-up. Cataclysm coming out, Slicing Maelstrom. J4 is going to take him down, has the health edge and the damage edge. Kennen cannot handle that. No place to roam, no flash, no place to go. And he is going to bite the dust. We do see the dragon counter coming up here. 1 minute, 50 seconds until the dragon respawns. And we're probably going to see some positioning strategically coming out of, hopefully, blue team. We do see them with the gold lead right now. 22.9K, 17K. So really just kind of a 5K difference coming out there. Almost 6. And Udyr is just consuming everything in flame, getting that jungle, keeping the CS numbers high. He wants to keep his gold income high. We do see that Spirit of the Ancient Golem coming out, providing a little bit of that tankiness, a little bit of that health and mana per 5 coming out there for the Udyr with the Merc Treads. So he wants to be tanky. Negatron Cloak as well. He is looking to answer for those Nidalee Spirits. He wants to be able to take up that magic damage coming out of that mid lane, as well as he wants to be able to handle any magic damage that's going to come out of that Kennen, especially later on in the team fight stage. We get a stun down on Nidalee. She takes some damage, but Udyr is taking turret shots in the face from Tower 1. Tower 2, Corki comes in with so much damage, and they cannot stay here. They have to fall back. Soda goes down. Kennen comes in with the lightning rush, and they're just disengaging. Light Binding falls. Udyr kind of wants to go in, gets a little extra from that ebb and flow. Lux Shield is going to come out there, help him out a little bit, but they want to catch a pick. They want this Nami so bad. Light Binding misses. Oh, the final spark. Just destroying Nami there. Slicing Maelstrom coming out. Will J4 be able to get away from this? Oh, and the spear lands. So much damage coming out of that Nidalee. Really, really so satisfying when you see a successful spear connection. Feeling that chunk, seeing the damage there. Light Binding coming out. Caitlyn's going in. Corki is going to fall away. We got the flash coming out. Piltover Peacemaker, ace in the hole. But she cannot take Caitlyn down. Corki was not able to get through that barrier. Caitlyn was not able to get through that barrier, and Corki is going to get away. We do see Kennen putting some damage on that top lane tower here, getting some free damage off at 50%. He's going to be able to take this down. Blue team is not in any way in a position to counter that. By the time J4 gets back to lane, that turret is going to go down, and Dark Ninja has secured some global gold for the red team. This is all in an effort to help Snowball try to get that gold back, trying to stop the hemorrhaging. We have about a 5K gold differential here, and red team is just doing everything they can to get that global gold and get themselves back into the game. But blue team is just going to answer here with the dragon, and we do see red team pinging. They are moving to counter that, but they don't know that there is a blue team ward, so that incoming dragon counter has been seen, and we're going to see what, if anything, blue team does here. J4 up top by himself, has Elise. Cocoon miss way out of nowhere. Repel, but the Flag and Dragon's going to bring him out here. And I don't know if he's going to get out of this. Cocoon's going to be coming out here again soon. Cocoon in the brush, lands on J4. Volatile Spiderling, getting some of that damage down. Flag and Drag's coming out, but it's right into Nidalee. And she's going to say, sorry, Jarvan, you're not getting away today. Takes him down there. Corki is a little bit sad he didn't get in on the assist fun, but that is going to be another kill going towards the red team. And we do see Caitlyn continuing that pressure in that bot lane, pushing up to that second outer turret. Or rather, the first turret before we make it to our inhibitor turrets. And Nami and Corki are kind of trying and just secure this lane. They're going to push it back, have it favorably pushing towards blue team's base. You see Nami dropping some wards there, getting that security near their blue, as well as in their tri-brush, since that turret is gone. And now I expect to see here, you know, we're going to start move if there are no more global objectives. And Udyr just face checks the tri-brush, but he is so tanky at this point. Not really afraid of a lot of damage coming out of that Kennen. And you do see Dr. Warriors 47 on the Sona, He's really, really investing in that vision battle now. Oh, the spear's coming out. So scary, so dangerous. You always have to be on the lookout for those spears, especially if you do not have vision on Nidalee. That means that she is lurking. She is in the Fog of War cover. And you just got to be ready to juke those spears because they're coming. She's going to be looking to get great positioning, especially for team fights, especially as blue team is pushing and taking down the wards here in that middle and around Baron area. And she's going to be laying down as much, you know, poke damage to dissuade any sort of dives or sieges that blue team might have in mind. And we do see Ghostface trying to steal the red buff here, but Corki gets it. He does land it with the bomb, and the damage is coming out. Ghostface killer gets knocked up with the tidal wave. Final Spark comes out. Lux takes down Nami, but Udyr falls to Corki, and blue team has to disengage. Lux goes down to Corki again, and J4 is not going to make it out of here. He goes down. Red team up. Only Sona in the mid lane. And we do have Caitlyn continuing to constantly push that bot lane. Really getting damage on that bot lane turret here. And even though I would say red team won that skirmish in the jungle, you do see, again, blue team really, really pushing these global objectives. And you don't really see any counter pressure coming out of red team to try and turn that global gold around. Again, it is 31.8k to 27.7k here. Blue team still in the gold lead. Red team not able to claw that back. And as we are approaching the 22-minute mark, it's going to be hard for me not to see red team wanting some sort of Baron pressure, wanting some sort of change. They need the gold. And so I'm assuming we're going to see some Baron stance action. You know, I would not advise it on blue team, especially in solo queue. Baron is a bad word, and many teams' dreams. Oh, light binding lance, and the final spark coming out of Lux, really putting down some heavy damage on that kid and forcing him to turn tail and run. Doesn't have complete eyes on the rest of the team, not willing to risk, especially with so much damage coming out of that Lux, to stay there. Gonna just hightail it out of there and be safe. Recall back home and get a little bit of health and mana so he can return back to lane, or energy rather, in Kennen's ninja instance. And right now you just see blue team constantly keeping all three lanes pushed. You have J4 up top, gonna take that top turret. Hopefully he secures this. Minions take it down. Keeping that top lane pushed. Caitlyn constantly keeping that bot lane pushed. And then you have the mid lane. They're not allowing it to go back. Oh, so much damage coming out of this Corgis. Is Caitlyn going to be able to get out of here? Bomb lands, but we do see the barrier coming out. And Udyr is going to punish this. He's going to punish this dive. Ace of the hole coming out. No way for him to get out of there. And Ghostface Killer once again lets him know why blue team ain't nothing to mess with. Bringing those bear stuns, bringing that Phoenix Fire, burning his face off. Lux there with the support, just making sure that he can't get away. Hopefully there to provide a light binding, even though the first one missed. And Udyr is just diving on the turret. He wants to make sure that they understand how tanky he is. However, I hope he realizes he is not tanky enough to be able to significantly and sustained, in any sort of sustained manner, tank those turrets without the help, a little help from his friends. So, flexing his muscles, making his presence known, but I hope he understands that he's still not reached that tanky level where he's going to be able to just bold-face tank, you know, three-man team damage as well as turret damage. And you see those spears just coming out, keeping him honest, keeping him at a distance, coming from those angles where it will be coming out of Fog of War. They won't be suspecting it, giving it the least amount of time to be dodged, maximizing his ability, or her ability rather, since it's coming out of Nidalee, to be able to land those spears and really get out that long range poke damage. And don't forget, the longer that spear travels before it connects with its target, blue team's going to take a little bit of a red turret, dragon there. And again, really keeping that global gold coming in. 38 to 31k, 7k gold lead here. And Udyr is on the Nami. Aqua Prison coming out with that knockup. Final Spark is just going to lay her to rest. Toro has slain another one. And this is what I love to see coming out of a mid lane Lux. You reach that AP threshold where that Final Spark is so dangerous. It's so potent. Kennen got caught here. Gonna get picked off. Stunned. Popping the flash to get out. Flag and drag over by J4. Dropping down with the Cataclysm. And he is eliminated from the face of Summoner's Rift. Nidalee here, falling back with Corki, seeing that Kennen just got taken down near the Baron. And you see this sort of safe play coming out of the red team. You see that they are not comfortable to push down mid very far. They're not comfortable to go out and take these global objectives. They don't have very many options right now, and blue team is kind of starving them out. They are denying them access to their jungle. Red team does have a lot of wards in their own jungle, especially near their red side. And this is not good. Udyr needs to fall back right now. Ooh, dodging the spear, saving his own life with a little bit of mechanics. And Corki just wants to put this dominant aggression down. But with that Final Spark and the ace in the hole, not going to be enough with that barrier coming out of Corki. He is going to fly away and live to fight another day. But blue team showing some real chutzpah there, really showing that they are not afraid of this red team, really showing that they're willing, even at very, very, very low health, to really be aggressive, they're staying close to their turret, which is wise. They can fall back for that fourth man in that situation. But showing red team, we are not afraid of you. We understand that you're on your heels. We're going to keep that pressure. We're going to keep pushing you to keep you on your heels. We want to win this game. And now red team is just going to consume their jungle. They're trying to get as much CS as humanly possible. They really want to stay in this game. They know for a fact that they're going to have to close this gold differential gap. Almost a 10K gold difference here. And that's really, especially in solo queue, and you oftentimes see this coming out in LCS, in professional play, that 10K gold mark, it is really, really hard at that point. Not impossible, but very difficult for that game to be carried and turned around at that point without some sort of drastic Baron play or some big, pick play as far as hiding in the jungle, clearing that ward vision, or just making some really big plays to start to get that gold generation flowing back in on your team, start to get those kills, turn it around. Red team's going to have to answer. They're going to have to do something here because blue team clearly has this game in hand, in control. Now we see we're getting towards the later parts of the game. Final Spark, not putting out as much damage. J4 just goes in, Cataclysm. Everyone flashes out, everyone runs, doesn't really lock down people or does what he wants it to do. And now red team is turning this around. Slicing Maelstrom coming out of Kennen here. They're putting down so much damage. Crescendo comes out. Kennen goes with that Zhonya's Hourglass. Udyr just wants to follow through. He smells the blood, taking turret shots to the face. Ace in the hole. Gonna secure that from Xiao Hai. Coming out of that Caitlyn. And Udyr is just going to disengage. But red team is not wanting this top turret to fall down. They are aggressively trying to defend this, and the poke war begins. We have a 4v4. Crescendo comes out, catches Corki a little bit abroad, but at the very same time, that Aqua Prison lands. Lux is not able to drop a light binding. Final Spark comes out, and they're not able to handle the cannon of light. They can't handle that damage. She lays it down and hits several people, Corki and Nami included, and they are forced to fall back. Top tower gonna go to blue team. And again, they are just showing how strong they are, how confident they are in their team play right now. Warding up red side, red team, jungle. Not really clearing as much vision as they were early. You don't see the oracles coming out of Sona right now or anybody else in the team. They're going to go around and start to consume these global objectives. Going to take that blue buff. Looks like Corki's looking for a steal. He's looking to try and take it, but he does not land that. Udyr is able to steal that away with the aid of Sona, and they hightail it out of there, heading to the bot lane to join Caitlyn and J4. Caitlyn's going to blue pill. And now you see Nami, knowing that they're down, 10K gold differential, knowing that they're behind. Vision is so important. A lot of our Korean teams, you're seeing Roll Club in the Worlds here, you see these teams that are able to lock these games out. You see SKTT1 around 30-minute marks, they are closing this out. Inhibitor turrets are done. Towers are down. You know, with this really, really aggressive play that we see coming out of a lot of regions like China, and especially during Season 3 and definitely towards the later part of the split, where assassins are very powerful right now. You see a lot of aggression coming out of these teams, a lot of team fighting. So vision is that much important for this Nami. She wants to remove as many wards in their own jungle and lay down as many wards in her own jungle, especially since they have this momentary reprieve. It's almost like the eye of the storm, where she's able to safely go through their jungle as red team is just frantically trying to consume the double golems, take the race, take the wolves, get as much CS, get as much gold into their pockets as possible. And this is that perfect opportunity here for Nami to go and try and clear out as much vision as she can. You do see a lot less blue team enemy wards in that blue side of their enemy of the red team jungle. Cocoon landing there on the Udyr. Not enough teammates behind her to follow up with that initiation. And they're just going to keep that poke. Spears are just going to keep flying out of Nidalee. She's hoping just to land something. Great angle here with that choke point coming around this banana brush. Shield coming out of Lux. Udyr is just going hard. Stun coming out. Crescendo coming out. Cataclysm coming out. Zhonya's coming out. Kinnon's just got a breath left. He dies. Sona is trying to get out, but she gets out with a sliver of health. And Udyr is just laying down the stun. We got Caitlyn here, is not touched full health, and she is just putting down the pain on this red team. Flash for the kill on Elise. Piltover Peacemaker coming out just so she can say, back off, Nami, get out of here. This is our turret. Blue team is taking this, clearly showing their dominance. Oh, but Corki comes in and drops Udyr under turret, but it is going to be his life. He is going to sacrifice his life for a kill. I know in Corki's mind, or he's thinking, that was totally worth. Not so sure here with their team being so far behind, knowing that that turret was going to go down. I know he wanted to just get another kill out on his pocket, and the final spark comes out, just barely missing the Nami, but Caitlyn is there to make sure. No, I'm going to put that additional damage out. But Sona, I mean, Lux does get that kill. I'm very surprised, actually, that kill was not given to Caitlyn there. And blue team is going to take another dragon. This is the third or the fourth dragon of the game, okay? You cannot allow these global objectives to be just so strongly taken away from you without finding any way to contest. And to be honest, I can't see at this point, with almost a 13 goal differential, how red team is going to come back from this without putting down some sort of amazing play like rushing for the Baron or something like that. They cannot just stay in their base. They can't just be confined to that side of the river, you know, hugging this inhibitor turret. Now, they are going to get starved out. Blue team is going to take, I mean, they clearly have this game under control right now, but red team, I really want to see something wild, something progressive, because honestly they don't have anything to lose right now. If they don't make big plays, this game is going to go to red team, and they're not going to be able to do something, but they're going to run into them into the brush. Final spark coming out and just shredding Corki. He falls. J4 dropping the Cataclysm to ensure that he cannot get away. Udyr's just running around, dropping bear stuns as he sees fit. And this blue team is not afraid of anyone. They have no cares. They give not one to this red team, and they are just controlling this map. Unafraid, with complete confidence in their team play, 100%. And they're going to go ahead and start this Baron dance. Having cleared out most of that red vision, red team knows what's going on, but they have so much damage that they can't even answer it. Light Binding lands, and Elise just gets owned by the damage that's coming out right now. Has to repel from that final spark, knowing that she's going to drop. Aqua Prison misses, and Udyr is just going to chase this down. J4, there is no way that Elise is going to get this. And Udyr wants blood right now. He isn't worried. He does not care that the ace in the hole was coming out. He doesn't care that that was going to go to Caitlyn. He wanted to secure that kill. He knows how strong they are right now. He feels really tanky, having that wits in, having that locket of the Iron Solari, as well as the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. Starting at Randuin's. And Sona's just like, you know what? I'm out of here. Chase me if you can. Don't know if that was a little bit of a bait or if that was just, you know, a little bit of misplaced positioning. And the 90 caliber net coming out of Caitlin's just like, I see you there. Gonna slow you down. Not gonna engage on me. And J4 is just going to turn it around. Zonia's coming out as well as the slice of Maelstrom. Final spark takes him down. Toro's like, I'm downtown, but I can land a 3-point shot with no problems. Landing my skill shots with the greatest of ease. And he's going to secure that kill there. And blue team is just going to continue to push down this mid lane. I don't really know at this point what the red team can do at this stage to really turn this around and bring this into their favor. They're really kind of just being passive and allowing the blue team to come to them. That Baron steal potential that they had when blue team was doing the Baron, it kind of was a big opportunity for them to turn the game around, but to be honest with you, they would have so much work. This game is pretty heavy at this point, with the gold being so in the advantage of the blue team, that there would be some serious lifting required out of the red team. To be able to turn this around. And if they would have gotten that Baron, that would have been the first steps to them making inroads into maybe getting this game. And the light binding just lands on Elise, not paying attention, alt-tab, not sure what's going on there. As they wait for this next blue wave to get to their turret and for the blue team to continue on their siege. Tidal wave coming out, pretty much hitting every single person on the blue team underneath that tower, and she actually is going to push them away with this red small wave coming out. Aqua Prison lands on J4, but they're not really getting the damage out that they need to get out there. Blue team is still there. Turret is over half of the way down, and with the next wave that's coming out here, I can't see blue team not taking this turret unless red team really does something big. They need to fight. They're going to have to fight, but they really just don't have the capability. Toro again sniping Kennen from downtown. Udyr's going in. Cataclysm comes out, locking them up, and they're just dropping like flies right now. Corki goes down. Sweet Kui gets that kill. Toro secures the inhibitor, and blue team is just going to be looking to push and end this game right now. Nami's there, but she really can't do anything. Ebonflow is not bringing out enough damage. Nidalee is there, trying to drop spears from range, but really afraid to get in range of this team that is just going to drop her. Elise is up, but they are conceding their defeat, and we are going to see here a victory coming out of the blue team in a very dominant fashion over the red team today here in Summoner's Rift. Thank you guys for checking out this match. Again, I am your caster for today, Jabarie Tektronic Brown. Thank you guys for watching my color commentary demo. And again, we'll see you soon back here in Summoner's Rift.